The left-hander, the Bay Area native, goes to work the first pitch. A breaking ball, and we're underway here at Chase Field. That's strike one, and maybe a pretty good idea to start off Alfonso Soriano with something soft.
He had been swinging at first pitch fastballs, hitting them a long way. So here, have a curveball to start your day.
That one up and away, 1-1 the count to Soriano.
What a gorgeous day to play baseball, big fella.
You bet. Roof open, sun shining in. That fastball up and in. That's what you're talking about.
One of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball when the roof is open.
The 2-1 pitch. Another curveball is outside. 3-1 the count. .396 on base percentage. A rare patient year for the slugger, and a .650 slugging percentage. With Ryan Theriot waiting on deck. They play him to pull in the infield, deep in the outfield. And he slaps that one, a fastball away right out of the catcher's mitt. 3-2 the count.
Got jammed by the cut fastball. Running in on him. Good pitch from Davis.
On their way, these Arizona Diamondbacks to the Midwest. They'll fly this evening after the game and take on the Brewers in a 4-game set. Down and in with a good fastball there. And that's the way you do it. Alfonso Soriano is retired. Let's take a look at the defense that works behind him. And when Doug Davis is right, he's just about down the middle. Ground balls to fly balls. It's Burns, Young, and Upton. On the infield, it's Reynolds, Ojeda, and Lopez, with Chad Tracy at first. And Doug Davis works with Chris Snyder. Here's Ryan Theriot, hitting .311 to start the year, and on base of .377. And that one just up and away. 1-0 the count. Cubs at 10-9, and they wrap up this series as that one is high. And they will be racing the Diamondbacks back to the Midwest as they head home. They have 4 games at home in Chicago against the Florida Marlins. No off day for either one of these teams tomorrow. Loads at back leg, stays up on the front tippy toe, and a perfect pitch. 2-1.
That was a thing of beauty. 2-0. Knee high outside corner.
Right away, it needs to be mentioned, the Chicago Cubs have not at all, I mean not zero, but just about at all, had to deal with left-handed pitching this year. They've just fallen into that slot, as that one is a strike. As a matter of fact, Mark Grace, they have 687 plate appearances this year against righties, including the Soriano out, 68 against lefties. Now, they've had a measure of success, .293 against left-handed pitching.
But you just haven't seen very much. It must be odd.
Can you gauge the advantage?
Well, I was one of those guys, even though I was a left-handed hitter. I felt that for me to be at my best, I had to see some left-handed pitching. Otherwise, you can get in some bad habits, seeing right-hander after right-hander. Or the other way around, if you see a 15 out of 16 lefties, you start to form some bad habits against just that side of it. Does that make sense?
Makes all the sense in the world. Garrett Anderson used to talk a lot about that when I first began broadcasting and covering him. A lot. I mean, he was a huge believer in that.
Makes you keep that front shoulder a little more honest. You don't pull off balls near as much.
Just a different look, certainly, for these Cubs. Davis, though, needs a strike. 3-2 the count. See if he's cutting the fastball here on 3-2. He is. It's hit hard and into center field for a base hit. So Snyder gives a sign of 3. A lot of times with Davis, that's the cut fastball. But ready for it was Theriot. That's a good piece of hitting, too.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. He tried to bring it in the back door, got middle of the plate, and Theriot makes him pay.
I mean, ideally, Mark Grace, you want that hitter to attempt to pull that ball. If he does it, then you got it.
Well, you're trying to get that. It looked to me like Snyder was sitting on the outside corner. Tried to get him to give up on it, maybe thinking it was outside, but it came right back to the middle.
Switch hitter Milton Bradley, speaking of cut fastballs, a very good one. Down under the swing of the slugger. Milton just 3 for 28 to start the year and had a 5 or 6 game stint where he wasn't playing at all with a groin injury. Started last night.
2 of those hits came last night. Another beautiful cut fastball right under the hands. 0-2.
Yeah, Bradley was 2 for 4 last night. 30 years old, a switch hitter and a .280 career hitter, and in his career, his on base .370. It's just been staying on the field. That's what he was trying to do right there, I think, to Terrio, correct?
Pretty good pitch there. Didn't get the call. Stayed just a shade outside. But you're right. That's what he was trying to do to Terrio.
Bradley played in 126 games last year. I mean, I just mentioned to you about the length of his career. Those 126 games, the second highest total he's ever had in a single season. He has just been injury riddled.
Now, different injuries, hamstrings, groins. Blew out a knee arguing with an umpire. Had to have surgery.
He's always been able to hit, though. A lethal hitter, as a matter of fact, is driven back to the bag is Terrio.
He had a magnificent year last year with the Texas Rangers.
2-2 the count. Derek Lee, neck problems cost him first couple of games in the series. He waits on deck. Curveball shot right to third. Reynolds makes the catch and saves his life in the process.
Well, that was a rocket off the bat of Bradley. Tough luck for him. Good luck for Doug Davis. Just a bolt. Nice play. Saves his chicklets there.
So now Derek Lee, we were mentioning the neck problems. Cost him a couple of games. A slow start for Derek. 209, a home run, and 10 RBIs as that one misses away. And this is a guy that almost always blows right out of the gates. The gates open, he is often in the lead offensively. It's just not happening this year. He had 371 last April. As that one just away, change up there, 2-0. And in his career in April, he's a .288 hitter. There you have the overall career numbers. Rare to see him, Gracie, struggle out of the gates.
Well, he's been battling injuries the last couple of years, as you said. Wrist injuries. And eventually that comes back to get you as a hitter. 3-0.
I'll never forget, and I'll go back and give you folks the exact date, but these two, the pitcher and the batter, meeting up at a game in Miller Park when Davis was a Brewer. And it was probably, as that one is in ball 4, one of Davis's finest hours. He loses Lee this time, but on that day in 2004, Davis, with a steady diet of high fastballs and just enough soft low to change his eye level, struck out Derek Lee 4 times in a ball game. And I'll never forget that.
That time, 0 strikes.
None.
To Derek Lee. 4-pitch walk. Doug Davis going to have to face the pesky Reed Johnson here with a couple runners on and 2 outs.
Running through a hitless streak that has lasted him 3 games or 9 at bats. 0 for his last 9. .284 career hitter. And Doug takes a peek back, getting closer to the tar pits early in the game.
I love it when you go La Brea.
Slowing things down, and then they get really slow. It's always been part of his approach. It's just you don't want to, for Doug, he'll tell you, I don't want to go too deep into that. As that one is high to Reed Johnson, 1-0 the count. Johnson, a Lou Piniella style ball player who tries to find a place for him just about every day. Overachiever, gritty, gutty, gets hit by pitches all the time.
It's just a tough out. Tough guy to strike out.
1-1.
As he chases one down on his back foot, that cutter. Boy, that one had some real good bite to it.
His good cutters really literally look like left-handed sliders today. I mean,
they're not sliders. He doesn't throw a slider, does he, Darren?
No. That's it out of Temecula, California, a Blue Jays pick, middle rounds pick in '99 out of Cal State Fullerton.
Another good cutter in on his hands and ate him up.
This one 2 pitches ago. Tell me, folks, this doesn't look like a slider.
Yeah, this is a fastball, believe it or not, folks. Nothing Reed Johnson's going to do with that one.
Pressure point on that middle finger when he throws the baseball. It's held a bit off center. And the pressure point on the middle finger is what causes that ball, when it's released, the last thing that touches it, and it runs. The 1-2. That one's high and away. 2-2 the count. All right, let's see. 26 pitches already here in the first inning. Grinding through it. And very few can do it like him and survive.
Well, he's going to have to reduce that. He had a bullpen that had to throw 5 innings here last evening.
Hot shot, just foul. That may have played it a pair. So we'll do it again with a 2-2 count. You make a great point about the bullpen. Doug has to step up and play that leading man role today.
Absolutely. Yusmeiro Petit had a short outing. You don't have any days off here in the next month and a half. Well, you got one.
2-2. What does he have up his sleeve now? A couple of base runners on. A curveball, and there's the tough out thing you're talking about.
He is a guy that he's tough to strike out. He's got some speed, so if he does hit a slow ground ball, he's got the ability to beat it out. And if you make a mistake, he can jerk one into the gap or even out of the ballpark once in a while.
.313 career hitter against lefties. That's been his side, so he enjoys southpaws, though he hasn't seen many.
Getting closer and closer to those pterodactyls and woolly mammoths in the tar pits. We may just flat out be there.
This pitch made it terminate. 2-2. Not interested. Nice block, Chris Snyder. The runners will be on the move, though. Full count. 2 outs, top of the first inning of a scoreless ball game.
Another 3-ball count. Snyder goes down nicely and just smothers that. No room for that ball to go anywhere. That's picture perfect blocking for you young catchers. You're not trying to catch it cleanly with your glove. You're just trying to keep it in front of you and save 90 feet. Big pitch and a turning point here early in the ball game.
The runners are off to the races. The 3-2 bouncing ball. Doug is there. Oh, just another 0 in the run column for Doug Davis. How does he do it? Out onto the road for a very challenging stretch. Let's take a look at Bob's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Felipe Lopez, a big night last night, back in there. Augie Ojeda in for Drew, who's on the DL. It's Chad Tracy, then it's Mark Reynolds having a nice homestand. Eric Burns, Chris Young, Justin Upton swinging north with his offense. Chris Snyder and Doug Davis. Ryan Dempster, 31-year-old Canadian-born right-hander. First pitch is a fastball. And it's high, 1-0 the count. Last year, what a year he had. This year, 1-0 is his record, an ERA just a tick under 5. He's been touched a few times. As that one just misses wide.
And every once in a while, he can get a little wild. We saw it in the playoffs last year where he gave up a lot of walks and ended up getting hurt with a grand slam and losing a ball game to the Los Angeles Dodgers as that one shaves the outside corner.
In his career, Mark Grace, 4.5 walks per 9 innings. That's what you're talking about.
That's too many. If he's throwing strikes, he is tough.
Right over the top of that pitch, 2-2 the count. Almost had the look of a cutter there.
Yeah, he's got a good slider, a good changeup, and enough fastball to keep you honest. Used to be the closer for the Cubs a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's one of those unique guys like John Smoltz, like Derek Lowe, guys that have been able to do it at an all-star caliber, and I mean start. He was in Florida an all-star starter. And then close in 05 through 07. He had 85 saves in those 3 years combined.
Diamondback, newest Diamondback, Tom Gordon is in that category.
Tom Gordon is exactly who that is. You can see what he did last year. Finished 6th in the voting for the Cy Young. Was an all-star as well. Had a big second half for the club that won the Central Division title.
6 pitches already here to Felipe Lopez. You love a leadoff man who can do that. Make a pitcher stress a little bit right out of the gate. And let your teammates see a bunch of different pitches.
Change up there, and it stays high. We jinxed each other. 4 for 23, Felipe. He's seen him. He's seen all these Central pitchers a lot from his time in Cincy, the brief stop in St. Louis, and he's always been a National Leaguer as well. Inside, a fine at bat for the man we talked about coming on the air, Felipe Lopez. Doing a great job as a leadoff hitter. Defensively, Soriano, Johnson, and Bradley on the infield. The Louisiana boys on the left side, Fontenot and Terrio, then Miles and Lee on the right side. Giovanni Soto, the reigning Rookie of the Year.
Let's see if the D-backs have their running shoes on today, Darren.
Now, this is a guy that has done a nice job throughout his career of holding runners on, but not as nice as Carlos Zambrano. There aren't many as good as Carlos Zambrano. I guess if you were to rank them, folks, and Gracie, it would be Lilly at the bottom in this series, Dempster in the middle, and then Zambrano at the top in effectiveness in holding runners. But you can always hit and run.
Oh, yeah, you can always make things happen if you're Bob Melvin.
Augie looks to drop the bunt down there, looking for it too. Fontenot was in at third. Right away, a lot of you that are new to watching Ryan Dempster work, and you can see before he goes home, the stretch is different, but in the windup, just one of his little quirks that he has. Every pitcher has to readjust a pitch. Okay, I'm throwing a split, I got to move my finger. A curveball, he just twists the glove different every time. Every single time, whether he's changing a grip or not. Now, we won't see it here in the stretch.
And he'll flip his glove at you in the windup. He's an amateur magician. Have you ever seen his routine?
I have not.
Oh. He can make your underwear disappear. It's crazy. Now he's one of the best at card tricks. He can make coins and everything disappear and appear in Ken Phelps's pocket.
Really?
Oh yeah, your pin that you got in your hand, he can take it from you. Next thing you know, it's in my pocket. It's pretty amazing.
I don't know if I want my underwear in Ken Phelps's pocket.
Good point.
Hot shot off the umpire. The second base umpire, Rob Drake, is hit with that ball, and so because of that,
that'll go as a base hit.
It's a base hit and a dead ball immediately. And a tough break there for the Diamondbacks. That would have been runners on first and third.
You think it would have?
You tell me.
Well, it's a bolt to center. It's going to be a base hit either way. There's no way that Aaron Miles, and maybe because it did look like Reed Johnson was shaded to the opposite field, so that might have been a first and third situation. You might be right, Darren. But either way, nice piece of hitting there by Augie Ojeda. He'll get the base hit, and it's first and second.
And most importantly, is Mr. Drake all right? He looks to be okay. Hazard pay, folks. Think about that job. Go out there and stand sometimes. Go on to your local high school ball field and look, and then think of the greatest players in the world hitting it as hard as they possibly can,
whacking
right at you.
Well, Rob Drake is a friend of the show, and I'll tell you why, Darren. You remember a couple of years ago down in Florida, he took a foul tip in the kneecap.
You bet.
And we were singing his praises. We even gave him player of the game.
So I'm not surprised he's just fine.
Boy, Chad Tracy just took a first pitch fastball right down the middle with runners on first and second and nobody out.
0-1 the count to Chad. 236 with a homer and 6 RBIs. On base percentage of .267 this year. That one rides high up and out of the zone. 1-1 the count. Dempster grew up about 2 hours north of Vancouver. Gibson's in British Columbia.
Up north there, eh?
Way up north. First job was delivering newspapers house to house, door to door for the Vancouver Sun. Speaking of sun, it's one of those great days to see ball outdoors, daytime. High again. 2-1. Boy, he can. Even in a single inning, Gracie, he has backed up what you said. Within an at bat, he has bouts of wildness. He's not trying to throw the ball there.
Well, of course not. You know, Felipe Lopez had an 8-pitch walk to lead the game off. And then because of his speed, Dempster had to throw fastballs to Augie Ojeda. Ojeda got something he could handle and whacked it into center field. I'm sorry, whacked it off the umpire. Oh, and that one gets away. That's not a foul ball.
That's a huge break. A slider swung right through, gets by Soto.
That's going to have to go as a pass ball, Darren. That ball did not hit in the ground, I don't believe. He swings right over the top of it. Yeah, he just flat out whiffed it.
They rule it a wild pitch, but Soto, I would imagine, would tell you that that ball's got to be caught. That never touched the ground.
Yeah, I'll have to write that down as a pass ball because, well, wild pitch would just be wrong.
So Soto and Dempster talk things over. And Chad, now a big chance for him. 2-2 the count. 4 hits and 23 at bats on this homestand. 3 of the 4 hits doubles.
Got to have some contact here if you're Chad Tracy. Love to see him pull the ball on the ground to the second baseman, get him over and get him in.
Out front, drives that one to the corner. It goes, and it's foul. Good changeup there, had him drifting way out front. Chad 2 of 14 with runners in scoring position on the season. Mark Reynolds waits on deck. Step or two to pull in the infield as Mark looks on. The outfield plays him to the opposite field. Zach Johnson likes to play over there. A pitch high in the zone, and he drives it to right field. That one bounced high, up and over the wall. Talk about getting something cap bill high and cash it in. The Diamondbacks do just that, and they lead it 2-0. RBIs number 7 and 8 for Chad Tracy. Little tomahawk chop there.
Yeah, you were saying that's a high changeup. Neck high. My goodness. Chad Tracy just put a short swing on it and ripped it on a hop over the wall. So 2 quick runs. Larry Rothschild going to come out and talk to his right-hander. So you're going to have to get the ball down, son. You're going to get killed up there. You were saying before the game you were thinking Chad Tracy was about to get hot. I remember you saying This was a good matchup for Chad Tracy, and once again, Darren, you were right.
Well, thank you for remembering while you were eating your eggs and
Whoa.
bacon. Well, this man's going to have to be a magician to get things turned around, like you said.
That's Doug Henning, isn't it?
I think so.
Well, he got a fastball right by Mark Reynolds. Oh, I miss those hairdos and mustaches.
0-1 the count to Reynolds.
Oh, I miss Doug Henning.
5 home runs, 11 RBIs. Bunting pops it up. Lee can't make the play, and everybody's safe. Runners on first and third with nobody out. The man who has battled the sore neck the last couple of days could not get down and catch that baseball.
I think that's going to have to go as a base hit. Not an easy play. Couldn't get that big 6'6" frame all the way down. Unselfish baseball by your cleanup hitter there, Mark Reynolds. He gets rewarded.
All right, let's see if Eric Burns can cash in. It is a base hit for Reynolds. Bouncing ball. Gobbled up. There's one. On the first. Burns, he beats it out. A fielder's choice. And an RBI. And the Diamondbacks lead it 3-0 for Burns. RBI number 6 on the year.
That's all it takes right there. Just a little great ball to the left side to plate Chad Tracy. Had a terrific at-bat. And Diamondbacks still have speed on the bases. Well, a field goal right out of the gate here today, Darren. Boy, you just saw all this coming.
Yeah, you and I were talking about it when you finished that last biscuit sopping up the gravy at breakfast this morning.
That was good, too.
As that one dies away. An espresso shot with your cup of joe. It was a good morning, and we had some good visions. 1-0 the count, and you can see this is interesting. 3 first-inning runs all year, and then 3 today. They haven't given any up either. They've only given up 3 all year.
Well, what it does, too, when you score some runs early, especially at home, first of all, you get the crowd into it. And then also you take a lot of pressure off your starting pitcher. Doug Davis now can go out there and just be a little more creative. He doesn't have to worry about making 1 or 2 mistakes. He knows he's got a little wiggle room now.
So Doug with the lead and a rare offensive explosion in the first couple of weeks of the year. Crowd still settling in.
Guess they're wanting more.
High fly up into the high sky. Looking into it is Fondo into foul territory, and he makes the play for the out. So Young, we'll see that .219 batting average dip a bit. Chris trying to get things going consistently. Already 23 pitches. Doug Davis says that's nothing. I threw more than that and didn't give up any runs. Doug had 29 pitches. Yeah, the early offense that hasn't been there is certainly of a concern. And then the innings 6 through 9, the end of the ball game. They have been doubled up 48-24. Burns on the move, the throw down, not in time. Stolen base for Eric Burns, his 3rd of the year. Now he is in scoring position for Justin Upton.
I love seeing that. Keep your foot on the throttle, Bob Melvin. Burns gets a good jump, never peeks in, and he gets in there easily.
Justin was hitless in his first 12 at-bats of the year. In his last 12 games, he's hitting .293, an on-base of .383, and he's slugging .512 as he fouls that one back. And in those games, that includes 3 doubles, a pair of homers, and 5 walks. And it's been a nice homestand for him as well. The 1-1. Breaking ball, left it up and out. 2-1 the count to Upton. 2 hits and 10 at-bats for the young slugger, 21 years young. with runners in scoring position. Reached out and poked a single into right center last night late. Take that right now, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would, definitely. Change up now, 3-1. Dempster not helping himself at all here in this situation. He's missed up with a lot of pitches here, Darren. He just hadn't found his release point yet. And the Diamondbacks, unlike last night, they've taken full advantage of the mistakes that Dempster has made, which they didn't do against Carlos Zambrano last evening. Good breaking ball there for a strike.
And to a man, I mean, we can say Zambrano's the kind of guy, if he gets comfortable, most pitchers are like that, really. Dempster's the same way. Pitchers sometimes come out of the gates, muddle things up a little bit, get it cleaned up, and then they're ready to go. Now they look around and say, how many runs did I give up?
Exactly. Last night it was 0, and then he became...
Upton going to the right side. To be fair, and then that's a nice play made by a fan down there. To be fair, to see things from both teams, I'm sure the Cubs and their fans are saying, boy, we let Doug Davis off the hook.
Well, yeah. Kind of.
I mean, think of the pace of that inning.
Well, yeah, but Doug Davis, it was 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. So, yeah, but last night was 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
And bad body language.
Yeah, and so the Diamondbacks had a much better opportunity last night.
Oh, my. It's killed to deep left, but look at this. All the way into the upper deck.
Well, they weren't expecting souvenirs up there, and they're not going to get one. They dropped it down to the lower bowl.
That's a tough play to make, though, pal. Tough play.
Unfortunately, about 100 feet foul.
Now they're going away with him, and they got him. Slider away, nasty pitch to get Justin Upton. But Chad Tracy, before his team packs up and heads out of town, gets it going. Those are the folks enjoying it today. One and 0 the count to Giovanni Soto.
Well, he's had a bit of a, well, for lack of a better word, a rough go of it here in April. The reigning Rookie of the Year, unanimous pick for Rookie of the Year. What a great year he had last year. Been a rough go so far here for the youngster.
Curveball never got there. 2-1 the count to Soto, and that it has. Soto rolling to that Rookie of the Year award as well. And on 2-1, it's high, 3-1 the count. Giovanni on this recent road trip that took the club from St. Louis and then here to Arizona, it's just 2 for 14. Coy Hill played last night. Bends at the knees and loads that back leg up. Doug comes in, good pitch. 3-2 the count. Again, we told you for Doug in his career, 14 starts against the Cubs. Had a lot of those when he was in the Central with Milwaukee. 7 wins, an ERA of 3.52. Outlying numbers, 9 strikeouts per 9 innings in all time against the Cubs. They hit just 232 against him. But walks, unfortunately, can always undo any of that. Any of it. All right, Mark Race.
Yes, sir.
Our Arrowhead, Brown & Brown, and Superstition Spring Chevy dealers. Key to the game. The plane, it's on the tarmac, and it's waiting.
It's waiting.
What does that mean?
That means let's wrap up this long homestand. Really, it's almost been one big, long homestand here in April. Save 3 games in San Francisco. Let's wrap it up on a good note. Get a nice, crisp game out of Doug Davis and the Diamondbacks, and let's get on a plane and head out of here. What do you think? Going to your old stomping grounds.
I like all of it, most of it.
Oh, the brass band will be there on the tarmac.
Let's get back to the key to the game. 1-0 the count.
I'm looking forward to landing in Milwaukee.
UW Milwaukee marching band out there. Good pitch over the inside corner.
They still have the Suttonettes?
No.
They don't?
No.
I remember.
That's shut down.
I remember back in my playing days, we'd go to Milwaukee and there was lots of young lasses and scantily dressed, and they were called the Suttonettes.
The 1-1 is nice a strike. Pitch. Perfect pitch over the outside corner. And the other thing that I think helps when you have the plane on the tarmac, as you said, and it applies to Doug Davis, it's running.
Yeah.
You are more effective, and he'll tell you when you work a little bit more quickly and throw strikes.
Wow.
Strikes like that.
That'll do it.
Wow. It's a guy, too. This is a kind of hitter, Gracie. You usually don't see swings like this from Aaron Miles.
Well, you can see he was trying to take a shot to right field, and that ball just got by him.
Let's see. How's Doug doing here in the second inning? 40 pitches.
20 strikes, 20 balls, and at least 4 3-ball counts so far for Doug. That's nice there. And see, that's a good way, Darren Sutton, to keep your pitch count down. Strike one. Strike one. Now, you hear me say this a lot. It puts hitters in swing mode. They can't just keyhole you. They got to be swinging now like that. That's the way you keep your pitch count down, is throw strike one.
0-2 the count for Fontenot and the other lefty mates that he has on this team. As you see the first pitch strikes. Lefty on lefty at bats, what you would have had to do. 18 plate appearances all year for the Cubs. 18.
It's amazing.
Late protective swing.
How did he get a piece of that one?
0-2 the count. Fontenot homer to left field in the series opener. He packed some power into that frame, I'll tell you.
He's got a quick, nice swing. Got some power in that strong, short body.
Good pitch. It's up. Fontenot riding a 6-game hitting streak. Wouldn't chase that one. He and Ryan Theriot, both Louisiana boys, both on the LSU National Championship team in 2000.
And here they are together in the major leagues for the Cubs.
In a totally different, couldn't be more different part of the world than where they came from. And that's all good, too.
I'll bet you these two youngsters have made themselves comfortable in Chicago. It's a good place to get comfortable.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's a great city.
I'm guessing you speak from experience. Inside corner. That's strike 3. Boy,
that was a thing of beauty. Boy, he just locked up Fontenot. Cut her right back to the inside corner.
Did it get there?
Well, I don't think so, but Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, sure thought it did. Good pitch. I mean, I thought it was a shade inside. Not a lot, but a shade. Watch Chris Snyder's glove. Boy, it really didn't move much, Darren. What do you think? Close.
I got it as a strike. 0-1 to count. That one dives low. We were talking about the plane is gassed up and ready to go. Milwaukee, they are done and awaiting the series. Yovani Gallardo struck out 11 as Milwaukee beat Pittsburgh 1-0. Topper, and that one is foul.
Did he throw a complete game?
He went 8, struck out 11. Villanueva took the 9th as Hoffman had worked back-to-back days. Ian Snell went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, and is now 1-3 with the loss.
That's a Dan Herron-esque early in the season loss right there.
Gallardo, by the way, drove in the game's lone run.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
He probably, on the Brewer telecast, probably got player of the day.
I think he did because it was a homer.
He hit a homer?
He hit a homer.
Wow. Has he got that?
I think he's got 2 this year, doesn't he?
Man.
Homered against Randy.
Struck out the side.
Yes, he did.
Plane's on the tarmac, Darren.
And we're out of the tar pits. Yes. Glad you're spending a gorgeous Arizona day with us. Mark Grace, Darren Sutton, and we want to bring in Todd Walsh. Todd, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. And if you don't mind, I'd like to get to the quote of the game, and it's actually a couple of quotes from last night inside the Chicago Cubs locker room, if you don't mind. Lou Piniella apparently said to his pitcher, Carlos Zambrano, hey, you're not swinging the bat the way you can. Carlos responded, it's early. But then he went on to share this. It's the National League, and you have to be able to do things like hit, bunt, and run. We saw what he did last night. We heard from Coy Hill on D-Best Live, the post-game show, that Carlos, there's a swing and a miss, was chomping at the bit to stay in the game, to go out there to try and troll for that triple to come up with a cycle. Now, I'm an American League guy, but I've been around you guys for so long, I'm starting to understand the beauty of things that we saw like last night.
Yeah, that's a pitcher. That was a triple away from the cycle. There's the long ball. That is a long, long ways for a left-handed hitter to hit a baseball. And he's a switch hitter. Did you know that, Todd?
No.
He's a switch hitter, and he can pound it from both sides.
The Silver Slugger Award winner, huh?
I think, and I told Gracie this.
We got to find his hat. Where's his hat?
Well, that's not fair that somewhere in that clubhouse someone lifted his hat. Yeah, that happened to Doug Davis the other day, and it's
really?
frustrating. Absolutely.
I wonder if the bat boy could find it with the box of curveballs. Sorry.
No, I like it. I think he's a better pitcher when he hits. I mean, effectively.
Sure.
I've seen it for years.
I agree with you. He's one of those guys that if he's striking out or I've seen him break bats over his knee, he's something else. He is an emotional dude. And those emotions will take him to both sides.
Those quotes, by the way, as Chris down off the end of the bat, he got himself a Texas leaguer, the Texan. Those quotes really make it sound like a nervous, uptight bunch down there.
Yeah. Right. I just love the fact that Lou, if you really read between the lines, knew what button to push with Carlos. You're not swinging the bat.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Lou knows all the buttons to push.
Yes, he does.
He might not be the guy that sits in front of the laptop and crunches every number to the last tee. I don't think he does that.
No. Good bunt. Very good bunt by Doug Davis.
I'm going to need you to weigh in on this, Todd. So
okay.
Here we go. Folks, you need to text to 74499. Text to 74499. Todd, the choices are A, Felipe, B, Danny Herron, C, Chad Qualls, or C, Chad Qualls. Come on, other. Which one would you pick?
Wow. Well, I always have an affinity towards pitchers.
Golly.
But I really like what Felipe Lopez has done.
Oh, what a play. What a play. That robbed Felipe Lopez
of an RBI. If that ball gets through, I'd vote for him.
Aaron Miles. You don't know how difficult. That's a bolt in between hop, and he just snared it, made it look easy. And saved the run.
All my electoral votes go to Dan Herron. Brendan Webb on the shelf, picking up the slack, the legitimate ace of the staff. I know the wins aren't there, but as they like to say around here, the internal numbers are better than anyone around. Setting the table for the rest of the season, I think.
All right, make sure to text to vote. We'll get Mark Grace's vote in a little bit. I'll give you mine after I find out who you all want. I'll just go with you. This is how he did it, getting a ground ball to short.
Ended up throwing a first pitch curveball, Darren, because Soriano's been jumping on a lot of first pitch fastballs and hammering them in this series. Let's see if he throws him another one here to start the third.
The yellow dots on the side were strikes. That's a cut fastball.
It's a beautiful cut fastball.
Sharp and in. And So the count is 0-1 to Alfonso Soriano. He came into the ball game, by the way, 5 for 18 against Doug, 278 with a home run. Curveball dives low. .82 and .86 in his major league career with an ERA of 4.32.
Oh.
Outside goodness.
Oh, didn't get it.
Two and one the count. Tried to backdoor that cut fastball. Looked like he got it there almost. Jeff Kellogg didn't see it that way. So on 2-1. Look at him hover over the plate. Boy, I tell you, as he squares up, backed out of there. A high cut fastball there.
That's 6 3-ball counts now for Doug Davis.
You pointed out yesterday, front of the batter's box. Coming back in. 3-1. They got it there. Unbelievable. A shot. Cut fastball or a straight fastball?
Cut fastball. And it looked like it got in a little bit on Soriano. But he hit it right at Augie Ojeda.
Shortstop Ryan Terrio.
Maybe off the label of shade, but couldn't have been more in the middle of Augie Ojeda's body. And a big first out.
You have to at some level, and I know it wasn't all the way in. It wasn't that far in. But to me, if you're standing, and help me understand with your experience, if you're standing in the front of the box, hanging over the plate, you better have quick hands and handle the ball in.
He can.
I mean, you better.
And he uses a big bat with a closed stance, like you said. He's just got amazingly quick hands and talent.
Bouncing ball to short. Good sound off the bat, but guess what? 2 outs. Terrio, who had singled back in the first inning as he raced. And Doug trying to manage and settle in with that pitch count a little bit more.
Milton Bradley.
And here's Milton Bradley. Bradley lined to third, and I mean, when I say line, I mean lined to third in the first inning.
It wasn't in on the label. It was crushed. It was a curveball.
That time out front of a changeup.
Good pitch.
Boy, you love one pitch, one out with anybody. Doug Davis, an 8-pitch inning. Man, he needed that.
Planes on the tarmac.
You said it. First pitch swinging deep right field and into the bleachers. Goodbye. A 3-yard RBI day, and it's only the third inning for Big Red Chad Tracy. His second home run of the year. And the Diamondbacks add on. It's 4-0.
Well, a first pitch fastball right down the middle, and Chad Tracy puts a charge into it, lines it out of here. Well, that made a sound, didn't it, Darren?
Yes.
Goodness. Good to see Chad swinging it well.
Slider and right over the top of it.
Well, you just saw that coming today, too, Chad Tracy. You were mentioning to me and Scott Snyder before the game how well Chad Tracy's looked at the plate here in the last few days. Boy, you were right on the money.
Thank you, sir. Trying to lift up Scott's spirits with that positive news. Been a tough year for Scott. 0-2 the count. I want to get a shot of him and make him feel better. 0-2 the count, Mark Reynolds. He singled in the first inning. Now, again, when you say single, it needs to really be explained. He was trying to drop out a bunt or a hit, move his teammate over to third as well, and he almost bunted it past the bag on a line, and Derek Lee couldn't make the play. I mean, that was a bunt.
It was a bunt, but what I liked about it, though, is he was giving himself up, moving a runner over to third.
The intention.
And he ended up doing the job, got a base hit out, and that run ended up scoring on an RBI ground out. So he was right in the middle of a 3-run inning, and that was good to see.
0-2 the count. Swings right through it. Down he goes. By the way, don't forget about Mother's Day coming up right around the corner. Bring mom down to the ballpark on Sunday, May 10th, when the D-backs face the Nationals. The first 5,000 moms receive a D-backs tote bag. Call 602-514-8400. And up at the ABC Club, the Arizona Baseball Club, a great Mother's Day celebration. Complimentary bottle of champagne with each table of 4. And a lot of good stuff going on at the ABC Club. And started, they sent us some goodies here, Gracie. I don't know if you look at this.
Look like,
all
like
the hot dogs,
dogs.
Yeah, represented around the nation. You have the Windy City dog, the Arizona dog, and the San Francisco dog. The home stands represented here in the mini dogs.
Well, can you tell me what is on each?
I will in a minute, but we're not done. There's more. When I'm done with that, I'm going to eat the mini roast beef sliders, the cheesesteak sliders, if you will. 1-1 the count to Eric Burns, as that one is high.
That's pretty good French fry.
This one here, these good-looking cheesesteak sliders. So I'm going to have both these, and you enjoy the rest.
What are you talking about?
Take care, folks. This is on my side of the booth. But thanks for sending that up, and always make it a place to stop by. The Arizona Baseball Club, good friends with Levy Restaurants. That one dives in. 2-2 the count. Now I can help you out with some food about the 6-run giveaway. Now I can take care of that for you. Don't forget our good friends with Taco Bell. Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more.
Only 2 runs away from that, D.
That's exactly right. 3 free tacos tomorrow. As that one hit on the ground. Eric Burns racing across. Got it. A fine play by Ryan Theriot. Burns is erased.
Gorgeous play.
And by the way, just to finish the thought, 3 free tacos, purchase of a large shrink between 4 and 6 the following day.
Center fielder, Chris Young.
Ryan Theriot just got the throw ahead of the foot of Eric Burns. Good call over there by first base umpire and friend of the show, Mark Wegner. Nice play by Theriot, getting enough on that throw to just beat Eric Burns, who did everything he could. He hit the front side of the bag. He did everything right. Just a really good play by Theriot.
All right. Chris Young going here. The 1-0. Pitch is high. 2-0 the count. Popped to third back in the first inning. Young with an on-base percentage right now of just .275. High breaking ball. Take a look at the average starter around Major League Baseball. Guy that gets to play every day. His on-base percentage average about 335, 340. As that one is over the outside corner. And his slugging percentage is fine for an average starter. 425. That one low. Yep, you can go ahead. That'll help. That'll help the on-base percentage, and a walk for Chris Young. Wasn't sure if he was allowed to go.
No, he's just so accustomed to not walking.
Doesn't walk much.
That ball clearly down. But making sure that Jeff Kellogg says ball 4 before he goes to first base. That'll make any umpire happy. And Justin Upton with a chance to make a 2-out walk hurt. Good speed at first base. Let's see if Bob Melvin has got him on the move.
My goodness. Lee, as that one certainly was not a good throw. It was low, but you can tell Lee still a little bit stiff in that upper body because of the neck.
Well, he couldn't move at all the first day we saw him.
And we've all been there, folks. Sleep wrong, and you even.
We did it doubling, didn't he?
Yeah.
He hit a double in Houston.
A mile high to center field. Bob Melvin's going to join us right around the corner, the manager of the Diamondbacks. So hang around. His club leads it 4-0. Together.
No, you know what? He's pretty good about getting out of jams. He's done that over the course of his career. When he's really going good, though, he's getting ahead in the count. He's throwing strikes, keeping his pitch count down. But it seems like since the first inning, he's had better stuff.
Nice today after a rough one last night. Chad Tracy carrying the load.
Yeah, Tracy's a good hitter. I mean, really, for a while there, he was hitting in some tough luck, and then didn't have a great game last night. But Trace can hit. He's going to be in the middle of the order for us and going to be out there most days.
We've been told the plane is on the tarmac. We'll see you there, my friend.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Thank you. Always a nice treat to be able to talk with the manager during the game. You folks clearly understand that we're not going to attempt to do diamond mining there or deep sea fishing and get some answers. We're just getting the pulse of the dugout when we do that, and it's an honor to be able to do that, and we thank Bob for his participation. Manager usually has a little more spring in his step when things are off to this start in a ball game. He just missed it.
Yeah, he just missed it. And nice play there by Upton, shading his body, turning his body away from the sun, able to get a clear view of that baseball. He's calling it like a good outfielder will. Now turn your body away from the sun. Nice play. That's called surviving. When you look up and you see a big old ball of fire, like, uh-oh. Panic.
So Doug wheels and deals yet again. Boy, what a pitch over the outside corner.
He's throwing a lot of good fastballs. He just beat Derek Lee with a 2-0 fastball right down the middle, Darren. Got him to shank it over to right field and Justin Upton.
The 0-1.
Oh, man.
Grace, remember I was telling you about the Arizona Baseball Club, the ABC Club?
Well, yeah.
They're having happy hour the whole month of May.
Huh?
From the time the doors open to first pitch, 20-cent wings in the bar area and $4 beers. Just thought I'd pass that.
20-cent wings?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And $4 beers.
So come to happy hour before the ball game.
That must have got him. Yep.
Got him in the hand. Got him in the hand, so he will reach, and we'll see one more time. Then we've got a great trivia question for you.
Oh, boy, that got a big piece of Chris Snyder. Well, anytime you get hit with an 0-2 pitch, is our little buddy with our Aflac trivia question. Darren, I'll read it. I was the 1977 NL Rookie of the Year and won 8 Gold Gloves. It's not me. Who am I?
8 Gold Gloves. Fly ball center.
Another good pitch in on the hands of Soto.
Well, he swung at that ball, and as he attacked, he thought, I'm squaring this one up, and the baseball didn't cooperate.
No. Okay. What year were we again? 74?
77 Rookie of the Year. So we're
77 Rookie of the Year. Bobby Grich.
Good guess. Is it Ryan Sandberg, Gracie?
Could be. How about this? You want a good little hunk of trivia about
Yes.
Ryan Sandberg, number 23?
Yes.
Do you realize that Hall of Famer? He started. Okay, never mind. I'm not telling the story.
Do we mind if Mark tells a story here real quick, guys? Or okay.
Do you realize he started his fabulous career 1 for his first 42?
Did he really?
This day and age, he might not get a chance to stay out on the baseball field doing that. What do you think?
Only against lefties.
Yeah. That Hall of Fame career started 1 for 42. And Jim Fry said, I'm playing him anyway.
Wow.
Pretty good decision by Jim Fry.
I think a very good decision. Gold gloves, though. Gold gloves. Lots of gold gloves. That's,
8 Gold Gloves?
I mean, there aren't many people in the history of the game that have won 8 gold gloves. Andre Dawson.
The Hawk.
Your old teammate.
I'll tell you what, it was nice to have that big fella hitting behind me. I got a lot of fastballs. They didn't want to mess with the Hawk.
Oh, glad I could come up with that one.
He needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with you.
I'm glad that the writers that... Spillage. Oh, no.
Personal foul. 1-1 the count on Miles.
I'm glad the voters got it right by finally letting Jim Rice in. But there's still a few others that need to be in there. Andre Dawson is one.
There might be some connect with Rice and Dawson, don't you think?
I hope so. Burt Blyleven, Tommy John, Jim Cott.
TJ won a ton of games. 288 wins.
288 wins. I think Burt was what, 289, 290? They need to be in.
287, but 3,700 strikeouts.
They need to be in, period. And so does Andre Dawson. Hopefully one of these days, those yahoos will get it right. Another 3-ball count. Boy. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
Buried it in on
It's
his
not
hands.
carrying to second base.
Chris Snyder.
I was the 1977 National League Rookie of the Year, Aflac says, and won 8 Gold Gloves. The Duck also says, who am I? If you said Andre Dawson, with those numbers in his career. And, of course, Ron Santo.
There's another guy we forgot to mention that should be in the Hall of Fame, and it is a low-down crime that he is not in.
Well, and his resume, to me, grows larger
every year.
Yeah, not only with what he did as a baseball player, which was fabulous, all-star caliber, but also what he has done for the game, for the city of Chicago with regard to baseball. And you want to talk about a man who loves the game.
And loves his Cubs.
I agree. Fun to listen to. There we go. I like that.
I'm a little short of those guys, I think, but thank you very much.
Now, if you are, I don't think it's much, I'll tell you that.
Double D with a monster rip. Came up empty.
Don't forget, by the way, if he does drive it out of here and hits the hit and win sign this inning,
he'll tie Zambrano for
exactly right.
Career homers. He got it. Ooh.
Well, here's what he's playing for, Gracie. $170,000. It's Beth Kretschmer. She's playing for that money. The jackpot grows by $10,000 every time the prize goes unclaimed. For official rules and information, visit dmax.com/hit and win. It's the Gila River Casinos Hit and Win promotion. Two outs just like that. Chris Snyder pop up and Doug Davis fly out to center field. Double D and Snidepiece, as the governor likes to call him. Here's Felipe Lopez with a count 0-1. Changeup just flutters in there above the belt.
Oh, really? Felipe Lopez got this game started for the Diamondbacks. An 8-pitch walk to set the table for a 3-run inning in the first. He got a fastball in the middle, bounced straight back.
Felipe talking before the game today about going out on the road. He said, you know, I know these guys, but during spring training, a lot of them were back and forth with their families up in Phoenix. He said, I'm looking forward to having a couple of dinners with my teammates, getting to know who they are a little bit more. We spend every day together working. He kind of believes in the chemistry on the road thing for this team, that it's time. Looked like he went there and he knew it. Lopez down on strikes. More after this. The Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 4-0. That high fastball, how effective is it?
I gotta tell you the truth, 50% of the time it's a mistake. I don't always go up there all the time on purpose. 50%? I'm saying about 50%. If Snyder's not up on his legs, if he's not up like going give me a high target, and if he's sitting down, and all of a sudden you see his arm goes up. I mean, it happens quite a bit. And actually, I get mad at myself, because it was not the pitch I wanted to execute, but it worked.
So
I love that.
He faced. I love that. This backs it up, Gracie. He faced Ryan Dempster in the last at bat. Watch this.
Yeah, look where the target is down there. Whoa! And you can see Doug. Golly, yep, got away with it. I like an honest guy when it comes to that. Like, for instance, one of the most honest guys that I ever played with, and one of my favorite guys, was Sean Dustin.
Okay.
He'd a right-handed hitter, he'd go with a pitch and just rip it out to right field for a base hitter, maybe a double down the right field line. And if he came around to score, he's getting his high fives in the dugout. Man, what a beautiful job of going with that pitch. That was awesome, Sean. Man, I wasn't trying to do that. I just swung late. It was like just perfect honesty.
That's Doug.
There's the high fastball. Unintentional strike, too. I love that. Good for Doug Davis. Most pitchers, I like to elevate, when I'm ahead in the count. I got a lot of giddy up on my fastball, at about 92, 93. If I throw it up there, that's going to go as another strikeout.
Well, the battle again together, and Alfonso Soriano is 0 for 2. Graphically, let's take a look at how Doug worked against Alfonso Soriano. A ground out to short, and then this one, a line out to short. The yellow notches are strikes that he threw. And a lot of cut fastballs, huh?
Well, that's his meal ticket. That's how he's going to be successful. With the breaking ball.
Oh, that's a pretty good pitch. These are the out pitches.
Okay. That's a cutter down and in, an easy ground ball. And then another cutter, this one a little higher, and a line out to shortstop. Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Dan Herondon him there.
And I mean it.
Doubled up, curveball, which almost was a strike, and then one that was. Another curveball, 3 in a row.
He's not listening to me. I told him to stop it, and he's not stopping it.
All right, folks, is it 4? Is it bounced? Now he talked him into a cutter. Doug did. Chris called for a curveball.
He wants this one up. But if he gets that pitch there, Darren, and when I say when he gets it there, when he gets it to Chris Snyder's glove on the inside corner, that's all any right-handed hitter is going to do with it. If they hit it on the barrel of the bat, they're going to pull it foul. Otherwise, it's going to be a jam shot. Here comes another curveball. But a good curveball there. You want to bounce it. See if you can get an aggressive hitter like Soriano to chase it. Nothing doing. Back to the drawing board.
Curveball, 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 cutter, curveball. 5 pitches in.
I like the cutter here.
In?
I think Soriano's seen too many curveballs. Snyder's thinking with me. Now you got to execute it.
Try and backdoor it, and it's up. So a cut fastball up. The count is full. Does he throw a 3-2 breaking ball?
Yes, he does.
Oh, and he got him.
It's fun to watch today, Doug Davis.
Oh, man, what a pitch by Doug Davis. What a sequence he just put on Alfonso Soriano. He's 0 for 3.
On AZ Central, perhaps you saw it. It is about dining out for life. We'll get to that event in a moment, but I want to say hello to Carol Poor. She is the CEO of the Southwest Center for HIV and AIDS as Augie Ojeda takes the first pitch here. Carol, just tell us quickly about your agency and what it is you guys do here in the Valley.
Right, thanks. Southwest Center, we serve 70% of Arizona's impacted and at risk for HIV AIDS. We do 3 amazing things: prevention, education, and we have a wellness center, and we are the largest research center in the Southwest United States for HIV AIDS.
Carol, the numbers are shocking, are they not, when you talk about senior citizens and teenagers in terms of HIV and AIDS?
Absolutely. HIV AIDS, it affects everyone, and we diagnose about 10 people per week over at the agency. Per week, and 2 or 3 of those are teens.
That's frightening. And there's a ground at a second. Looks like Augie Ojeda will make the first out of the inning. And finally, Carol, we have to talk about what you are doing and what Dining Out for Life is all about. This is a really cool event. It's something I've never really seen before. What is this?
Tomorrow, on Thursday night, or Thursday the whole day actually, people can go out and eat at restaurants, and some of the businesses that are donating a good portion of their day's proceeds to support Southwest Center. And there was a big ad in yesterday's paper. People can go to our website to see all of the restaurants and participating businesses.
Regrettably, HIV/AIDS still alive and far too well. You're doing the best that you can. DiningOutForLife.com. So I can go out and eat, and then part of my money will go and help the cause?
You can. Wow. Tomorrow, come out and support Dining Out for Life.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
How about that, guys? You can eat for a good cause.
Yeah, just the 3 of us. If we were in town, we're going to be on the move. We would help them with thousands with the way we can put away food. That's a great idea, great cause, and we thank you for doing that, Todd. Thank you, man. That's good stuff. A changeup and a dandy, and why not throw this man a changeup? Though, back in the first inning, it was a changeup, but it was about nose high for Chad Tracy. He hit it out to the right center field gap, and then he saw a fastball in the third, and he crushed it. If ever there was a no-doubter, it was that.
Since then, Ryan Dempster's been terrific.
Changeup, that one not up. And the play is made. Third inning, no doubt. And so now Mark Reynolds with 2 outs. Just 1 hit allowed by Doug Davis. Just 1 hit for the Cubs. For the Diamondbacks, 4 runs and 5 hits. Neither team has committed an error to this point. Single and a strikeout for Mark. And that one is a strike. Dempster in his career 1-4 with an ERA of 5.73 against the Diamondbacks. As that one is waved through, no balls and 2 strikes to count. Outside. By the way, don't forget to join the D-backs back home next week for the National Series, the 8th through the 10th of May. There's 25,000 fans Saturday, May 9th will receive a D-backs drawstring sports bag courtesy of KTAR. Get tickets now at dbacks.com or 602-514-8400.
Just missed.
Boy, he held it there for a long time.
Soto.
That's a long time to hold that ball.
It's almost like Soto was holding it there saying, I'm not throwing it back till you call it a strike. And the umpire will tell you, throw it back.
That's exactly right. The 2-2 popped him up. Easing in is Reed Johnson. He puts it away. 4-0 Diamondbacks. certainly want to thank them for their partnership. Don't forget, have solar panels installed on your roof, and it's always a beautiful thing when the roof is open here. And it is for day baseball.
Doug Davis just lighting it up today. To this point, 1 hit through 5 innings. He's been in a rocking chair really since the first inning, Darren, when a couple of Cubs reached base.
One and one the count. Ground ball and a foul ball. Davis, one of those guys that really, it's almost like he's taking a final exam when he pitches in a game. It's not about the running in between or the bullpen. He does those things, but he gets on his computer and has the matchups. This guy looks for this pitch at this count. He'll hit a breaking ball at this batting average at this count. Fastball at this count. He studies it, has it ready, and he uses it. Now you got to execute, no doubt, as that one is high. The bat system, they call it. It's a training system, which basically just takes a look at every at bat a guy's ever had. Lefties, righties, up, down, in, out, what the pitch is. Some guys use it to varying degrees, I guess is the best way. Doug's all in with it, as that one is rolled foul. It's funny the research players can do who likes what. I remember talking to Todd Helton. He was telling me 2 seasons ago when he was healthy and playing every day, don't watch any video. Don't like it, Darren.
I didn't either.
I have a hitting coach. I'm my own hitting coach as well. I don't need video. So everybody's
really like
different.
Oh, changeup.
Something told Doug Davis that a changeup there was a good idea. Doug explains why all the research.
You can plug in all the information and what he does on 2 strikes, what he does in 0-0 counts, what he does on any count, and you can make a plan on how to get this guy out, how to successfully get this guy out. I'm a big believer in numbers. Numbers don't lie. You know, if the guy's hitting 130 on curveballs, well, I'm going to throw up some curveballs and see if I can get him out those 9 out of 10 times.
Fair enough. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
For him, for him. Got to execute it, though. And Doug will tell you that's the most important part.
There you have it. That's the thing. Is he hitting 130 on hanging curveballs, or is he hitting on well-executed curveballs? That's one thing those numbers don't tell you.
Right.
But it works for Doug.
He's really pulled things back together with regard to being resourceful and not getting in big trouble. I mean, he's at 90 pitches here in the 6th, but it was headed well down a different track. Don't forget, he threw 29 pitches in the first inning.
Since then, pretty much in complete command.
Yeah, that says it right there. The 2-1. High to Milton Bradley. 3-1 the count.
He's had his fair share of 3-ball counts. No question about that.
That's 7?
At least. I think it's more than that, to be honest with you. I think it's more like 9.
How about 9? You're right. 3-1. In on his hands, and it's popped into the seats.
When you see major league hitters, Darren, getting jammed and jammed badly by 3-1 pitches, fastball count pitches. We saw it with Aaron Miles. You see it right there. Soriano a couple times. Really, just about all these Cubs would just get, badly jammed. That's when you know you've got some really good movement on that pitch.
Wow. Didn't get the call on 3-2. Respectfully asking, was it out? Jeff Kellogg had a response since it was handled properly. Boy, I tell you. Let's see. Is that out?
It must have been. I don't think he called it up. It was belt high.
That one is fouled back to the screen.
Just another fastball right down the middle. And it was just enough to get Derek Lee to foul it back.
Got a viewer watching in Germany at Warner Barracks in Germany. Says, hey fellas, specialist Christopher Bond here in Bamberg, Germany. Warner Barracks watching the game on MLB.tv. Go D-backs. Thank you for your
Good to
service.
have you on board. Bless your heart. Hopefully see you soon.
The 1-1.
Change up missed.
That note on the World Wide Web. On Twitter, D-backs booth on Twitter. Fox Sports Arizona has a Twitter site as well. Fill them both up. Join on and keep an eye on us, and we appreciate your support. D-backs booth. High fly ball, well struck left field. Eric Burns has room.
That's called just missing one, folks. Got about a millimeter too much underneath it, and that kept it in the ballpark. Right down the middle, and boy, he just got under it. Eric Burns going to go all the way back about 375 feet and make an easy catch.
Fans were all leaning out. Folks were dropping things as that ball was heading by him. That one is lined back to the screen. Yep, dropping a nice pair of shades, as a matter of fact.
Ah, Burns, you might want to grab those and stick them in his pocket.
Person's probably panicked. How about my nice shades?
Excuse me. You think it's the Cub fan or the old school Diamondback fan?
I don't know. We wear shades all the time out here. We usually don't drop them. You know, shade management. Yeah, let's see if we can figure out who it was.
Find out who the. Well, it's the Cub fan.
Was he on his phone as well?
We're going to have to take a look at that.
0-1 with 2 outs. Curveball. That one stayed up.
Yeah, it was that fella there. He had him in that part of his shirt there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he kind of had the glasses like right there. And now they're gone.
On his phone.
And he was on his phone. We're going to have to take us a look, see if he was on his phone or not. If he was, well, he should probably go home.
Nice play by Augie Ojeda.
Was he on the phone?
Of course he's on the phone. Look at him. Hey,
Yep.
there's Eric Burns in front of me.
Hey,
Hey, look, Freddie. Foolery.
What a nice man.
Sunglasses. Now,
thank you very much.
He has them. He passes them over. Now, we thought it was the Cub fans. Imagine that. He's still on the phone. Turns out it was the Diamondback fan.
Well, it's the guy in between.
And, of course, our fine in-house staff helping to get everyone their sunglasses. Well, the bit's not fun anymore. So we'll move on. Here's Eric Burns. That's strike one.
Party pooper.
You want to stay with it?
No.
Oh, and 1 to count. Before the days of cell phones, you could just put people on a shot and just mock them endlessly. No, they'd never know.
Until they got home. Sutton, Gracie, we're all over you. Instead, they find out right away that we were all over them.
Right away and start dancing and sticking their tongues out. And then they get off camera.
That's a good way to not be shown.
We will show you some NASCAR, though. Saturday, NASCAR on Fox goes under the lights in Richmond, Virginia.
Who's your guy in Richmond?
Oh, Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer's my guy. He'll try to defend his title against a full field of the world's best drivers. Sprint Cup Series racing from Richmond begins Saturday at 4 in high definition. Only on Fox. Good folks with Fox. That'll be in the evening, by the way, as that one has popped up. Let's see, it's heading our way, and it's a souvenir down below. Now it's down below. It was up above, and it's dropped down below. You'll be on Fox this weekend, just before the racing.
I will be.
In Atlanta.
Down in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia.
The 0-1. Pitch is high, 1-1 the count. Young popped to third and walked.
But I'm going to go with you to Milwaukee for a couple of days, big boy.
Yes, you are. Swinging right over the top of it is Chris Young. We have to do a quick weather check on what we have coming up around the corner here back in the Midwest, because as you've explained to me, whatever it is outside, it's inside Miller Park with the roof closed, so we can just
could be 20, could be 100 indoors at Miller Park.
Fly ball into left center field and over to his left, Alfonso Soriano to make the play for the out. Well, we have some votes. We're talking about the April most valuable player, 74499, and Jack Walls has had an incredible month, no doubt. But those two guys up top are getting a majority of the votes, and it's very, very close. Boy, big fan of other. Guess we just had to put a fourth choice.
Well, there's been some other guys doing well. Tony Pena.
MVP worthy?
Doing very well. Well.
No.
Who's your vote?
I'm waiting to see what the fans decide, then I'll just go with whatever they say.
Augie Ojeda has had a terrific month.
Certainly. Not an MVP.
Okay, so if we just go all the way through everybody and you can just eliminate, we'll eventually get your answer.
No, I think I'd have to vote for. Boy,
a hanging breaking ball there for Upton. He fouled it.
Boy, I tell you, I got a hard time not voting for a guy who's got the second best ERA in the National League, who should be 5-0.
Even though he's 2 and 3. I'd have trouble disagreeing with you. I love the everyday players.
The 1-2. The pitch is high, 2-2 the count. 54 degrees right now in Wisconsin.
Which means it'll be 15 by the time the plane lands. Oh, I love going back. Where are you going to dinner tonight?
Pitch is outside. I'll be eating on the plane, and then we'll probably get there, I would imagine. Let's check and see.
That shouldn't be too late.
10:30.
10:30?
Dinner at 10:30. Juan Gutierrez.
Gosh, I thought we'd be there quicker than that. 10:30.
The 3-2 with 2 outs. Hot shot, base hit. Past the outstretched glove of Mike Fontenot. So Upton is on. He is 1 for 3.
Oh, when he hits it so hard. Oh, Darren.
Don't know when I'll be back again. Is it your private plane or is that the team plane they're showing?
No. You've got me confused with really rich people.
Okay. Oh, my mistake. Here's Snyder. Yeah. That one skitters on by Lee.
That one got the umpire as well. Mark Wagner.
Mark Wagner and Rob Drake said, we give up. Oh, my.
I'm glad he had his hand in it.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Well, we'd be having timeout on the field.
You all right, Mark? Just fine. The pitch is high. Now, again, Lee, I just want to focus on this. You can tell that wasn't a good throw. But Lee had a hard time just getting down and getting to it. He's just stiff.
Yeah, he didn't even get to it.
If you're just joining us, neck problems cost him the first couple of games in this series. Quick update weather-wise, by the way, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Has it dropped to 45?
Well, tomorrow, high of 68, low of 48, which means low 50s, high 40s about game time. Friday, high of 55, low of 42. Saturday, high of 59, low of 43. And Sunday, 59, 43.
So I was wrong this morning.
Oh, did you have a different forecast?
Yeah.
Well, you said you were going to Atlanta. I'm sure you had Atlanta's forecast.
You're right. That's what it was.
That's exactly what you had.
It was.
Here's what's brewing. The road trip. 8 games. It's at Milwaukee. The classic. A lot of teams take it. The Milwaukee, LA, San Diego trip. Which, of course, for the Diamondbacks, after a nice homestand against a couple of clubs, they'll take the classic Atlanta, Miami, Oakland road trip.
Right. That's always one to sit back and enjoy.
In other words, as you see the swimmers out there, on this next trip, the swimsuit comes out. Well, it comes out at the end of the trip. On the next trip, the swimsuit comes out in the middle. In Miami. They don't really use it in Oakland. 3-1 the count. Giovanni Gallardo, we talked about, pitched today and pitched his tail off. Runner going, throw down, Justin Upton. Good to see that for Justin Upton. Gracie, his first of the year. This guy can give you 15 plus, I think.
Oh, I think if he would just go more often, that's not even all that great of a jump, but just pure speed, and he beats it easily.
He looked in most of the time, so you said it, average jump looking in and still stole it easily. Now a single, another big run. Love to get out of Grand Slam range.
Well, with Chris Snyder up and Doug Davis on deck, probably an off-speed pitch. Sure as the world.
Spinning and nearly burned out there, Reed Johnson. Oh, boy. They stay within Grand Slam range. Just barely. first inning, couple of base runners on, and then pulled it right back together. After throwing 29 pitches in the first, he has settled down. As a matter of fact, he's been so good he's allowed just one hit. One hit was all it took for this man, but he wasn't done. First he doubled, and that played it a run. Then another big one hit. That played it another run. Chad Tracy, 3 RBIs, double and a homer. And that is the story thus far in the top of the 7th inning. Arizona leading Chicago by a score of 4-0. And just what exactly has Doug been doing? There you see it. A strikeout per inning of work, as he's always done against the Cubs.
Well, he's been beyond terrific. As you can see, only a first inning base hit from Ryan Theriot is keeping him from taking a special no-hitter into the 7th. He's been a lot of fun to watch today, Darren.
Giovanni Soto is down in the count, 0-1. And that one dives low.
Speaking of watching, I imagine Bob Melvin's got a pretty eagle eye on Doug Davis. He's into the hundreds, 103 pitches so far. Love to get him through the 7th.
I just thought the same thing. You dream of, as that one ricochets off Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire. Now that just leaves Tim Timmons, who has to be hit.
He's gonna get it eventually.
Well, the umpires are taking a little bouncing and beating today. 2-1. Yeah, you're right. He does have a keen eye on him. Dreaming of getting him through this 7th. There's no doubt.
Boy, what a pitch to the outside corner. Soto's like, you gotta be kidding me.
It's almost like he walked it and just set it there. You know, it
was perfect.
81. He backed off a little bit. Just a nice, easy pitch. That cap a little bit sweat soaked at this point. 2-2.
Almost the exact same pitch. Must have been up, I guess, because it looked like it was about the same spot as far as the outside corner. Man, that's got to be a strike, doesn't it, Darren? Another 3-ball count, though, for Doug Davis.
Good pitch. Stayed away with it. When you get to this point, you're Doug. He had a walk in the first. He had a walk in the second. A walk in the 6th. Just hope to maybe avoid that here. Let him hit it. It's 4-0. Stay stubborn, but let's see if he can get the corner somewhere. You got the outside part of the plate.
Just missed Tim Timmons down there at third base.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Tim Timmons, the third base umpire. Rob Drake, the second base umpire, got hit with a base hit earlier in the game.
Hater, sure.
Mark Wegner with a wild pickoff throw. Jeff Kellogg just got hit, the home plate umpire. 3-2. Curveball, got him. What a gutsy poker player's pitch that was.
You can see Soto recognizes it, and then he just can't lay off of it. Dips out of the strike zone. Would have been ball 4, but instead another strikeout for Double D. So impressive.
Schoenweiss and Gordon warming, continuing to get hot in the pen. Gordon today saying before the game, I'm going to go run around a little bit, but I think I'll be ready to go. Just away making his Diamondbacks debut last night. Tom was saying his son, who plays an A-ball in the Dodgers system, he didn't think he was watching. He didn't know if he was online watching the game or not. He was going to check. Ian, 2-0 the count. Miles struck out swinging and popped up to second. Hitters count. And a base hit. Not a terrible pitch. Went down with it, and Miles just went the other way. Todd Walsh, what do you have for us?
Guys, speaking of the bullpen, we heard from Bob Melvin before the game today, and he is looking to get Chad Paul's work irregardless of the score of this game or the situation. Just needs to get some reps, if you will, on the mound, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Certainly looking out for that. The same was said about both Marmol and Gregg for the Chicago Cubs. So key members of these bullpens are expected to work no matter what happens in this game. Carlos Zambrano out on deck. It's not a bad pinch hitting option. Not bad at all.
Well, he's hot.
That pitch is high. 2-0 the count. As Zambrano singled and scored in the third last night, grounded out to second, doubled in a run, and then homer. 17th career home run. And you see the pinch hitting work he has done. Todd Walsh earlier, if you were joining us today, great report on the give and take between Piniella and Zambrano and the ribbing that Lou was giving Carlos about his lack of hitting prowess. 2-0.
Good pitch. Right at the kneecaps. You see Doug's starting to fade a little bit, starting to fatigue. Starting to work a little bit slower. Falling behind 2-0 back-to-back hitters.
Bouncing ball, get two and get in the dugout. There's one, there's two, double play. Doug Davis, 115 pitches, and boy, what an outing against the team that he always seems to handle. Oh, those baby Bears.
Doug Davis certainly on a roll today. Canada, the big question for the Diamondbacks a lot of times, who's going to come up with the offense? Today it was Chad Tracy.
Chad Tracy in the first inning hits a big double, drives in 2 runs, got a ball up, bounced it over the fence for 2 bases. 2 runs scored, later hits a home run. So Doug Davis, that's all he needed. He's been cruising.
More coming up on that big first inning in the post game, but we want you to weigh in. Our poll question today, who is the April MVP for the D-backs? Herron, Lopez, Qualls, or maybe someone else? Text to 74499. Guys, I'm going with Dan Herron.
Good call.
Good job. You can see how the voting is going to this point. Good to see other with 4%. Ryan Roberts hits for Doug Davis. Partner, how about his outing?
Oh, you're talking about MVPs. Are you kidding me? What a fabulous job the left-hander did after the tough start from Yusmeiro Petit last night, only going 3 1/3. Boy, the Diamondbacks needed a starter to go deep in the game, and they got it from Doug Davis. And Ryan Roberts picking up for Doug Davis, draws a leadoff walk.
His last couple of plate appearances coming off the bench have ended in walks. We mentioned Doug, as you saw a moment ago, that first inning where Doug would tell you, I was kicking myself. I thought I was heading to, as we, in a fun way up here, called the tar pits, the old La Brea tar pits, which means you get stuck and you slow down. But He righted the ship on his own. He really did.
Lou Pinella's having a slow stroll out to the mound. He may have the hook with him for Ryan Dempster. I'll tell you what, after a solo home run by Chad Tracy in the 3rd inning, Ryan Dempster has been terrific.
He certainly has. Working on still just 93 pitches, so that's manageable. Lou's thinking about it. I think Lou's making a move this time. Going to go to the bullpen. We told you he had a couple of relievers he wanted to get in. Greg and Marmol, we will see. We'll step aside, reset the situation when we come back. And a great job brought to you by our good friends with Quest. And, of course, out at the Tempe Marketplace, you can come. We want a Studio Audience. We want you out there enjoying things. And with that, there will be drink specials at San Felipe's Cantina, Dave & Buster's and Cadillac Ranch, live bands Fridays and Saturdays, giveaway, and much, much more. Good stuff. Look forward to doing that. I'm told they are even going to take Brat Stock, which is a visit to Milwaukee tradition.
Right.
They're taking it into the Tempe Marketplace.
Wow.
So it should be a lot of fun.
That should be fun.
Carlos Marmol, the closer for this club, goes to work.
Got a bit of a bad knee.
He's got it braced up. You see that?
You can see his left knee, his landing knee, if you will. Whoa. Not anything bad about that fastball, 93 miles an hour.
What an arm he has, especially with that lower arm angle, to be able to generate that velocity and the movement he has as well. 10th appearance of the year. "26 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He last worked 5 days ago in St. Louis, a third of an inning, 1 run allowed. Started the year, his first 6 appearances, he was unscored upon. Outside. Two to nothing the score. 2-0 the count, I should say. 4-0 the score. The Diamondbacks well on top, trying to add on. And again, that one misses a way off speed pitch. 3-0 the count.
You can see he's a guy that's, there is a lot of motion. There is a lot of torque, a lot of velocity, and it's a 3-0 count.
Three and 0. Right down the middle, 3-1 the count. Of course, Marmol pitching just behind Carlos Zambrano. And Zambrano had that fabulous start against the Diamondbacks in the division series. a couple of seasons ago. As that one is ball 4. Zambrano, you remember in that game, Gracie went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run.
I do.
Lou was saving him for the next outing. And Marmol gave up a couple of runs in that outing. And the Diamondbacks won it eventually by a score of 3-1. Mark Reynolds with a big blow, a home run off of Marmol.
Back-to-back walks have gotten the Cubs in tough shape here. Augie Ojeda, I would imagine, with a bunt sign. Or Bob Melvin could play a little riverboat gambler and maybe put the runners in motion and see if he can get something like a hit and run.
Tried to move him around. The count is 0-1.
What you're trying to do here, if you're the bunter, you're trying to bunt it firmly to third base. You want to make the third baseman field the baseball. If you do that, you will have a successful sacrifice.
Oh, and 1 the count. High and away, that game we were telling you about earlier. As this club is headed to Milwaukee, the Diamondbacks. Giovanni Gallardo beating 1-0 the Pittsburgh Pirates and homering. So he really typically did it all. Atypically, I should say. First 1-0 game won by a starting pitcher's home run since Odalis Perez did it to Rick Hellett. Here with the Diamondbacks. He bunted it to the other side, as you said, Gracie, a fabulous bunt. Third baseman couldn't even come down and field it.
That's as good as you can do it, Augie Ojeda. Just always in the middle of the action.
He is, isn't he?
He was in the middle of the success in the first 3-run inning. And then a beautiful bunt here to set up Chad Tracy, who has been, well, the beast here today with 3 RBIs out of the 4.
Overlooked in that play, by the way, is the fact that Aaron Miles came to the bag and did a nice job, footwork around the bag, trickling into foul territory. But that's the last time it happened, Mark Grace. It was August 28th, 2002. As the intentional walk rolls off, Odalis Perez homered against Rick Helling of the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers won 1-0.
Wow.
And it's only the 7th time in 50 years what Giovanni Gallardo did today that's happened in the big leagues. Here's the good news. Giovanni Gallardo pitches after the Diamondback series in Milwaukee.
That's the very good news. They'll still get some tough hombres. Manny Parra. They'll get Braden Looper on the last game. And Jeff Suppan to start it. He's had a rough start.
These are the matchups. Look forward to seeing Max maybe taking a little deeper in that ball game tomorrow. John Garland, Manny Parra Friday. Dan Herron, Braden Looper Saturday. Notice the start times, by the way. 7 p.m. Central, 6:30 Central. I did not realize there's a 5:30 game, and then you see the different start times there. So note at home when those games will be starting. Dave Bush, no matter what Dave Bush has done, he seems to find a way to handle the Diamondbacks. Breaking ball over his head.
And anybody that is home saying, stay in there and take one for the team, well, think again.
Not there, you're not.
No.
That's not your fanny.
That was a breaking ball that Marmol just never got to. And it's 1-0. 3 walks fill the bases with Diamondbacks. Oh boy, he came back with a good one there.
That home run, Mark hit against Marmol in game 1 of the division series, was in the 7th inning. Here we are in the 7th inning with the bases loaded. Outside, 2-1 the count.
Missed badly with that one. Good patience there from Reynolds. Need a little insurance here. D-back bullpen would love a little breathing room.
Roberts, Lopez, and Tracy, as you saw, load the bases up. 2-1.
Oh, he got a fastball in the middle of the plate and couldn't connect. That's where your money's made right there, Darren Sutton. 2-1 pitches with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs. Because now you open up the possibility of that very good Marmol slider or another fastball. Now he's able to lay off the slider.
Oh, my. 3-2 the count. This young man has had 32 at-bats with the bases loaded in his career. Hits 188, has never hit a grand slam. Could this be number 1? 3-2. Outside, he'll take an RBI just as well. 5-0. The Diamondbacks lead it.
And the Cubs just,
wow,
very generous. Very generous. Bases loaded, 1 out, 1 run across, and you have 0 hits in this inning. If you're the Diamondbacks, you are saying thank you so much, Cubs. Not even close. Good at bat by Reynolds.
It's 12 RBIs this year for Mark Reynolds. And now a chance for Connor Jackson to hit for Eric Burns. Burns 0 for 3, did plate a run and pick up a stolen base with a fielder's choice in the first. And so now Connor. Connor, an uncharacteristically slow start to the season. Talking with his manager about it before the game. He expects, and he's not stretching it at any point, he gets hot. Jackson talking with him before the game about it. Feels like frame of mind is just fine. He's not about to push the panic button. Not yet. I think we're all surprised with his start. 2 for 2 this year with the bases loaded.
Another ball.
Same group has never hit a grand slam. Inside. 5 days ago was the last time Marmol pitched. He threw 11 pitches. He's only thrown 18 pitches in the last 8 days. Having a hard time finding the strike zone. 2-0 the count. 3-0 to Connor Jackson. He might be a lot of things when he's struggling and trying to figure things out, but he won't wail at those pitches. Never.
Connor, by far as not swinging balls out of the zone, by far the most disciplined Diamondback hitter. And he'll probably be taken here. I'm sure he will be. Not even close.
There's an RBI for Connor Jackson the last time he faced him. Marmol walked him. Another run will cross. It is 6-0 Diamondbacks.
Oh, Lou Piniella probably kicking himself for bringing in the extremely wild Carlos Marmol.
Next time he throws, he may have to close the game down. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, and by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. Bases remain loaded. Jeff Samardzija, a former All-American wide receiver at Notre Dame and fine pitcher as well. Drops a breaking ball in there for strike one. Well, he went right to work. What a pitch. And with the bases loaded, what a pitch.
Bases loaded. Looked like a breaking ball or a changeup, something off speed that dipped into the bottom of the strike zone. Very well done.
Bouncing ball, and it's a foul ball. It's interesting. You have a football player, elite in college, in the dugout as a bench coach. You have an elite All-American football player on the mound pitching as well. Both of them played on the offensive side. Both of them caught the football. I mean, look at Samardzija and all that work he did. Incredible college career. 27 touchdowns. As that one bounces in there. Nearly 2,600 yards receiving. There they are, both of them. Withdrew after selection by the Cubs. You can see because he withdrew from the draft. Gibby, a Cardinals draft pick, Mark Griggs.
He would have gone on to start him with the Cardinals had he chose football. But he made a good choice, played baseball, and had a stellar career. Gassed right by Chris Young.
Gibby was talking the other day about the football opportunity that he had, and he loved football. And he said, and I'm sure Samardzija goes through this as well, Gracie, he said, I guess I doubted myself most at my lowest points when I was playing minor league baseball. You're down there, you're struggling, you're 2 for your last 31 with 15 strikeouts, and you think, boy,
yeah,
should I be out on a pro football field right now?
You start to doubt yourself, no question.
And remember, all the little degrees of separation for Gibson. I mean, he went to Michigan State. He signed with the Tigers. Then he went back and played at Michigan State one more year after playing in the minor leagues. All that in the little heartbeat of America there in the great state of Michigan. Down the line, and again with something on it, but it's foul. As a matter of fact, I was up Friday's Front Row Sports Grill at a gathering called Ball Yard Talks this past Saturday, and Gibby was up there as a guest. And they said, what was your highlight as a football player? And he said, oh, well, I had a whole bunch of highlights. Just about every Saturday was a highlight for me. The 1-1.
That's a pretty good answer.
2-1 the count. That one is belted deep right field toward the wall. It's up against that wall. They're all coming on down. The third one to the plate, a double. And 3 RBIs for Justin Upton. He just cleared them. And it's 9-0 Diamondbacks.
No, Upton got himself a good fastball in the middle of the plate. He drives it over to the right side on a hop and start the merry-go-round. Milton Bradley can't catch up with it. And that's all it takes to blow this one wide open. Justin needed that. Good to see him swinging the bat much better here of late.
Well, again, if you really want to look at it and put it under the microscope for Justin Upton. As you can see, folks, by the way, tacos tomorrow between 4 and 6 at our good friends with Taco Bell. Purchase a large drink, you get 3 freebies. Put Justin under the microscope. The first 5 games, 0 for 12. Since then, not just fine, very good. I mean, 300 batting average, nearly 400 on base, about 550 slug. 13 games since.
That's
had a bad 5. Had a bad 5 to start the year.
You're right.
0-2 the count. 9-0 the score. Chris goes down on strikes, but what a big inning. They played 5, these Diamondbacks, and they're rolling. He wrapped up his day with an ERA now that is below 3, an ERA in the high 2s for the southpaw. We told you in his career he had struck out a Cub per inning of work against the Cubs. He did it again today. And Davis now with all sorts of runs. 9-0, Arizona leads it. Tony Pena goes to work. 6 outs for these Diamondbacks to get. It's up, up, and away to the Midwest. Our all-tell call to the pen.
Tony Pena's been rock solid, as the numbers show.
1-0 the count.
The hard-throwing Pena. Going to face Joey Gathright. Diamondbacks scored 5 runs on 1 hit, Darren Sutton.
How about that?
1!
Can I submit to you that hit was a thing of beauty, using the whole ballpark?
Absolutely it was.
By Justin Upton.
Not just flipping it over the other way, driving it. Oh, what a pitch.
Goodness, what do you do with that as a left-handed
You
hitter?
take it and hope for the best next pitch, because you're not going to do anything with it. Oh dear.
And then he comes back in. You're looking for something a little bit positive for Tony. The overall stats certainly are, but in his career, lefties have had a tough time. Well, he's had a tough time against lefties, as I got to get it correct. This year, lefties hitting just .235 against Pena. And slugging only .353. So he's starting to do what he wanted to do. Be able to stay in there against guys from both sides. Look out in the home dugout. One and 2 the count. Time is called. Get that baseball up. Baseball's lying around.
Oh dear.
Slider. That was a slider, folks.
After all those hard fastballs, a slider right on his back foot.
fielder
Yeah, he put some kind of sequence on Gathright.
Howard Chaz Roberts, cool play. The good folks at Chase Field, whatever needs to be done, and you know what? That's cool. Now, dropping your sunglasses, that's not. Fastball, ground ball. Augie wields and fires, and in time, nice play, Augie Ojeda. Looked like the throw for a minute was about to sail. As a matter of fact, Chad was readying himself to leap in the air.
Threw him a good sinker. He spins, and it looks like he's going to launch it. And no, it's okay. Chad Tracy was about to get into spring position to jump up and grab it and realized, no, I don't need to.
Ryan Theriot gets up on that front toe, holds the bat away from his body, and he fouls it right back. Slider runs away. We're talking about Pena and his .235 left-handed batting average. Of course, Theriot right-handed batter. Previous to that, 06, 7, and 8, that number .292. So far, very good. That's a nasty pitch there.
It really is. Pena looking awfully good today.
I can't help but think back to that matchup with Gathright, left-handed hitter. That slider down and in. There aren't many lefties. I don't care who you are that handle that pitch.
No, nobody can.
That's an equalizer. Downhill, as he always talks about. Oh, you bet that's strike three. Frustration. Theriot waves his hand out to Mark Wegner. Oh, he's heard worse from the Cubs before. That's nothing. Love to hand out the Gracie and Sut hearts here for those that, not like a Purple Heart, but it's a Gracie and Sut heart for umpires that bust their tails and stand up and live to fight another day.
That's
There's
Rob
one.
Drake. And then Mark Wegner, not really expecting this one to get him. Ow! Golly. Those are our buddies. They're terrific umpires, and they're all part of this process we call Major League Baseball.
And now Jeff Kellogg, one of the other men in black, is coming over. Chit-chat with Lou Piniella about where he wants, I would imagine, Greg to be in the lineup.
Bob Melvin was wondering from the home dugout. Said, hey, Lou might be up to some shenanigans, but he's not.
That's our Nova Home Loans in-game box score.
Big Tony Clark's going to lead it off.
Lou, shenanigans. Kevin Gregg, we were promised that Gregg would work and that Marmol would work. I would imagine they're wishing Marmol would have just thrown in the pen. He struggled. That one is high. 2-0 the count.
That's pretty well said. Maybe he could have just got his work in over in the bullpen. Instead, he came up and proceeded to upchuck all over the field with 3 walks.
And meantime, Gregg is struggling throwing strikes. 4 for 24 this year for TC. Home runs from both sides of the plate on opening day. And that is a strike. Clark hitless in his last 19 at-bats. See if he can change that right here, right now. Fouls it off, 3-2. Greg had a nice year last year with the Florida Marlins. Remember, I'm sure you do, beginning his career with the Angels, he had 29 saves last year, 32 the year before down in South Florida. One of our favorite spots, Dolphin Stadium.
Is it now?
3-2.
It's really not.
And into the seats it goes. When do we go back to Dolphin Stadium? Let's take a look.
I think it's on our next trip.
Oh, and you know the highlight for me?
What?
You can't go on a network assignment.
I'm with you.
Oh, you are all for Dolphin Stadium.
Come on. Gas right by Tony Clark.
Tony Clark goes down on strikes there. Quick correction, he was 1 for his last 19. Tony would tell you, I need more hits either way. Gracie, you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's head out. Right there. Get your tickets now to sit in the all-you-can-eat section at Chase Field. The all-you-can-eat section is a family-friendly area on the suite level of the ballpark, just below the sandlot area. $30. You get a ticket, all your favorite ballpark food, feed the whole family. Hot dogs, popcorn, Pepsi, chips. Call 602-514-8400 or visit dbacks.com/all-you-can-eat. Change up. This is away.
Went to a concert last night after the game, Darren.
You did now?
Yeah. Went and saw some friends of mine over in Tempe.
Okay.
Seven Dust. You've met my friend Morgan Rose
right?
from Seven Dust. Yeah. They were here along with Black Label Society. That place got loud.
Sounds pretty, just by band titles.
Yes.
It sounds intense. Intense music.
It was intense.
In the round? Was it a concert in the round? Did the stage spin around?
No. It didn't spin around. It stayed stationary. But it was good. Had a good time. I just wanted to give those guys a shout out. And
I think that's a good thing.
Tell them how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's good to be invited. 2 outs.
Well, you weren't.
Here's Augie Ojeda.
Shortstop Augie Ojeda.
9-0 the score.
One of the greatest skits of all time on Saturday Night Live.
Blue Oyster Cult, right?
Blue Oyster Cult with the cowbell. What's that actor's name?
Was that Will Ferrell?
No, Will Ferrell was the guy playing the cowbell.
Oh, no.
Who was playing the music producer? Oh, gosh. One of the greatest skits of all time on Saturday Night Live. Oh, it's going to bother me. Christopher Walken.
Hello? Christopher Walken.
We got a little help from the truck there. Oh, I can't YouTube that enough.
Oh, I like you too. That's a good band.
Bono. But that's not what I was talking about. I was YouTube on your computer.
Oh, the little TV thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, 1-2 the count.
Not the edge.
the edge, 2-2.
You think when he was born in Ireland, Mom and Dad named the Edge?
I don't think they did.
You don't think that's on his birth certificate?
Can you hear the cowbell off in the distance, by the way?
Is that what that is? Is Will Ferrell here?
Yes, he is.
There he is.
3-2 the count, 2 outs. The right-hander and the former closer for the Marlins, the 8th inning pitcher.
I think we need to bring cowbells for redheads, don't you?
You know who was saying that last year? A good friend of the show, Leo Gilmartin.
That's right. He was a big part of bringing the cowbells.
We were just talking. Did they
redheads.
come? I mean, he thought it'd be a good idea. I don't remember.
Well, let's give it a shout out right now. We need more cowbell for redheads. I got a fever, and the only remedy is more cowbell.
I think it's a great idea. That's a walk. That's ball 4.
It was the 341st walk of the game by Cubs pitching. Here's the bell. That's the Taco Bell. You won't see that in any rural area. That's not on a cow. But Taco Bell is big league. Chad Tracy got an opportunity to have a really big day.
8 walks, by the way, for Cubs pitching. 8.
I'm sorry.
No, that wasn't to correct you. I was to
guessed a little high.
Point out that it was a lot. Diamondbacks, Doug Davis walked 3. Tony didn't walk any. Diamondbacks pitchers have struck out 9.
Boy, what a pretty pitch there by Kevin.
This is the 3rd.
Lined it out of here, about 10 rows deep.
Broke his bat. Dump one in there, Chad Tracy. Atta baby, a 3-hit day for Chad. He also reached on an intentional walk. He's been on 4 times. Single, double, and now a homer.
Well, we heard Bob Melvin earlier say Chad can hit. You take a split finger, a well-executed split finger, and dump it in there for a base hit. It's very well done. Starting to get hot. You called that this morning.
Enjoyed talking about it over breakfast, and it's been a nice day for him. As that one is away. 1-0 the count. Mark today, single, struck out, fly to center field, and walked with the bases loaded. Eventually came around to score himself on Justin Upton's 3 RBI double. Breaking ball, and the count is 1-1. Should the Diamondbacks hold on, and we'll see their record bump up a bit to 9-12, still with a ways to go. Want to get back to that 500 mark and start climbing. Good pitch. One and 2 the count. He didn't go around. Ryan Terrio would like for them to appeal, but it didn't look like he went around there. Terrio is some kind of frustrated with Mark Wagner saying he went around.
Three and 2. Had our fair share of 3-ball counts today, haven't we, Darren?
We have. Runners will be going. How about a gapper here? Breaking ball or a walk. But that was a good pitch.
Well, Kevin Gregg wants the pitch. He threw a 3-2 breaking ball there with a 9-run deficit. Didn't get the call, so that is the 342nd walk today by Cubs pitching. I'm sorry, or the 9th. It just feels like 342.
Mark Grace.
Yes.
If you could help me out here, I'd like to hand you this opportunity. It's something that I'd like to do for you today.
Darren, I don't know what to say other than browse from the largest selection of authentic team gear. Official hats, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles. Get team gear straight from the source. Visit dbacks.com/shop.
We have the bases loaded. We have a fun alert. Fun alert.
Well, I thank you for that. I feel like we're growing.
Anyway, here's Connor. That pitch, a low strike, but a strike. 0-1 the count. Connor came on to pinch hit, walked with the bases loaded. So a plate appearance, but not an official at bat yet. As that one is blocked up.
Talking with Connor before the game, and he had said to me that he told me that he told you that he'd like to be called Action Jackson from here on out. I know you'd like to do that, but I'm going to stay with Kojak. I'm going to stay with what the governor came up with.
You do that. The 1-1. Outside. 1-2 on the corner.
Right on the corner. Beautifully done.
Again, just to tell the story properly, he was just sharing nicknames that other people have called him.
Action Jackson.
And people have called him that.
Not buying that. Because that could go down as one of the worst nicknames ever.
The 1-2. Outside. Good fastball as he pours it in there. 2-2 the count. 2 hits for the Cubs, 8 for the Diamondbacks. 9 runs for Arizona. How about C-Jacks?
No. That's equally terrible.
Inside, putting a good at bat on him again.
3-2. Connor walked. An RBI walk, if you will, his last time up. So he wouldn't get 2 bases loaded walks in the same game, back-to-back innings, would he, Darren?
The 3-2 pitch, bases loaded. And he fouls it off up above us. The runners were in motion, or better said, the runners were in action.
Well, I'm not really going to say that, but I guess if that's what you two came up with that you'd like to start calling them, now you'll just have to do it alone.
Full count, 2 outs. The runners again in motion. An RBI walk for Action Jackson. 2 of them in this ball game.
All right, I'm sorry, Chicago Cub pitchers, but Uncle, throw the ball over the plate. Let's go.
Or better,
Car.
there we go. Oh, and Greg's belly aching. To say the least for the Cubs, a pitch that several of them that Kevin Gregg thought were close.
That's not a strike.
Well, he, upon heading to the showers, wanted to get a few licks in verbally with the home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg, and they went on for a couple of minutes. Not a really, how shall we say, confidence-building day for the 8th and 9th inning pitchers for your team.
Man. Well, Lou promised that he was going to get Marmol and Gregg into the game. And it didn't work out very well for either.
No, David.
Both very wild. David Patton's going to come in and try to throw some strikes.
We've talked about it time and time and time again. And the guys sitting in the clubhouse watching right now, Mr. Marmol and Mr. Gregg, they know it. If you pitch on a team and have a staff of pitchers that have had the umpire looking all over the place, scattershot, looking for pitches to call
you're
strikes.
Not going to get the close ones.
And even if you have missed a couple of times and haven't really honed in and established strike zone, we all know that. You guys know that. You're not going to get the close calls. It's unfortunate, and I know it's frustrating for them. As that one is away. 1-0 the count.
I mean, like I said, Darren, the Diamondbacks scored 5 runs in the 7th inning on 1 hit. And 3 more walks here in the bottom of the 8th.
Good try. Oh, Gracie, good try. Just out the booth. Almost had it. Got the souvenirs. And speaking of that, that ball just went down below some friends of ours visiting from Arlington, Texas. Ended up with that. Big Diamondbacks fans made the drive over.
Appreciate them coming out. Probably in a Cadillac.
Well, they are. 2-1. Big Rangers fans, but already frustrated this year with Texas. So they make the drive out for this 3-game series. It's not them, but it's right near there. Good looking lid. The 2-1. 2-2. Over the outside corner, that is strike 3. Another run scores, 10-0. Arizona lead.
Movies, so I mean that's one thing. I think I'm an emotional person. You know, it's hard for me to do a lot of things. I mean, when I leave my kid and go on road trips, I cry and I have to take time out, put my sunglasses on before I go back into the clubhouse.
Todd Walsh back here at Chase Field, and guys, once again another example of the candor that Dan Herron displayed in our sit-down interview at his house, which is a part of our Dan Herron In My Own Words, which will debut on Friday here on Fox Sports Arizona. I told you he's a deep and thoughtful man.
Yep, and you could sense it.
Yep.
We all have that feeling on a day like today, saying goodbye to everyone we care about, and understandably so. I think he probably cried those first 3 starts when he got like a half a run of support. That would make me cry.
It's always tough to say goodbye to the family, friends. I mean, I didn't cry.
No?
I mean, it's always tough.
1-0 the count to Milton Bradley. Juan Gutierrez is on. I'll tell you a little something about Juan, Mark Grace.
Tell me.
In his last 7 appearances, span 8 1/3 innings. His opponent's batting average is 172. He's given up just 1 run and struck out 12. Pitches like that, it's a breaking ball and a ground ball, and Milton Bradley is retired. So Bradley 0 for 3 with a walk. Our Quest primetime performer, how about we go with Doug Davis?
Not much doubt about that. Doug Davis was terrific today. Only 2 hits in his 7 innings. Of course, the 7 strikeouts, and he was fun to watch today, Darren. He just had these Cubs eaten out of his hands. Really had that great cut fastball working today.
1-0 the count to Lee. Popped up right side. Tracy, Lopez, Upton, Chad Tracy, 1 out from victory.
All right, let's see if the fans start getting excited about this. There's the rattles. Fans? Hello? Hey! They're not standing up there.
Pitches away, 1-0 the count to Reed Johnson.
It's been a long day.
I guess a lot of Cubs fans here, they've been disappointed. The only other series win, the Rockies, to start this long homestand. They won 2 of 3. Popped up right side and into the seats it goes. That man is pitched well enough to be 5-0 this year. Looking forward to seeing him go to work. He'll go to work on Saturday against Braden Looper. Looper's had a nice year as well.
Hello?
The 1-0. A slider is high. 2-1 to count. Check the count. 2-1, 2 outs. Is high. 3-1. Going to make it winners of 3 of 4. Cubs, as long as a miracle doesn't occur, have no series wins here since 2003 still.
Really?
That's ball 4. I'm talking about a couple of other young Diamondbacks that could be on the scene soon helping out. Young man by the name of Brian Augenstein in Double-A out of the University of Florida. He has 4-0 with a .35 ERA as a starting pitcher this year.
Is that in Mobile?
That is in Mobile. Dan Schlereth is also in Mobile. 8 innings, a 2.25 ERA, 9 strikeouts. Left-handed reliever. And the runner will move up, and Reed Johnson, of course, no stolen base there.
Why not?
That's defensive indifference.
Oh, that always gets our buddy Joe Garagiola Sr. He loves that defensive indifference, doesn't he?
He and I both.
I'm going to join you on that.
Hello, Joe.
It should be a stolen base, right?
It should, yes. I want to say hello, Joe, by the way.
Joe, we miss you.
Glad you're spending your afternoon with us. We're thinking about you a lot, and we'll see you here soon. 0-1 the count.
All right. Okay, fans. Here we go.
They're going to be up.
Here
now.
we go.
Hang on, Gracie. Get him going.
Okay. Come on, guys.
Oh, I think you got him this time.
There we go. Yeah.
You got him this time.
Yeah. Oh, Darren.
Trying to win 3 of 4, trying to win a series against the Cubs. The 0-2 pitch. High and inside. 1-2 the count. Quickly, Mark Grace, for you,
yes,
because I know you want to hear this. Jared Parker, the young top prospect pitching in Visalia.
Well, he's my guy.
0.95 ERA.
As I said, right as if on cue.
In 4 starts. 1-2 the count. See some of them here soon, but otherwise it's been a good day for the Diamondbacks and their pitchers here in the big leagues. Juan Gutierrez follows up Tony Pena, who followed up Doug Davis, and they all were spectacular. The Diamondbacks get it done. They win a series. They win 3 of 4. Now it's time to take it out on the road. I said out on the road. That's where it's time to go. Out on the road now. Roll the postgame open. Roll it now.